Hey, good morning. It's Sarah and Angie here to talk to you today about the Crew Subaru She Tries Carnes Crossroad event happening this weekend in Carnes Crossroad, Somerville. So this is your pre-event meeting. This is going to go through all the details of what you need to know so that you're most ready for Saturday. We will not have an in-person meeting, so we ask that you all watch this video, send us your questions if we don't answer it, and we'll see you this weekend. So the Crew Subaru She Tries Carnes Crossroad event is presented to us all by Harris Teeter, Fleet Feet, and Press & More Real Estate Group. And we have relay options, triathlon options, duathlon options, and virtual options for everyone. So it's just a great event, inclusive and welcoming to everyone of all abilities. So we're going to go through the timeline and what to expect that morning, and then we're going to talk specifically about the course. When we get started on Saturday, we're going to start just a little bit earlier. We'll start around 7:20. We have an athlete who is visually impaired, and she will be the first swimmer. And once she is through the swim, we will start the remainder of participants with the fastest going first, and Angie will talk about that in a little bit more detail. So it doesn't really change a whole lot about when you need to be prepared to get started, but it does decrease the time between when transition closes and when we're going to actually start announcements and start the event. On Friday, we are offering packet pickup at Fleet Feet and Carnes Crossroads. There's two Fleet Feets in Somerville. One's at Carnes Crossroads and another one in Somerville. We're going to be at the Carnes Crossroads location at 2509 North Main Street. You can pick up your packet there. Bring your ID. If you're picking up for someone else, please bring a copy of their ID. Just a texted picture of their ID is fine. And we'll give you guys your swag bags, and you'll also get to meet some of the sponsors on Friday. Saturday, if you are unable to pick up your packet on Friday, you can pick up your packet before the event, starting about 5:45 in the morning at Carnes Crossroads under the Green Barn. The address to put in that morning is 513 Woden Road. That will kind of get you to the general area. You'll see the large green barn for Carnes Crossroads, and that's where the She Tries tent will be for packet pickup, and you'll see all of our other sponsors setting up under there, and that's basically what to look for when you get started that morning. Parking will be across the street from that green barn. When you first pull onto First Avenue into Carnes Crossroad, the green barn and pull and transition will be on your left, and the medical offices where you'll park will be on your right. So you'll go to the traffic circle and make your first right. There will be parking signs, and that's where you'll head. We just ask that you not park in the pediatrician parking lot or Solomon Dentistry parking lot, because they are seeing patients that morning, and we don't want to impair their patients' ability to get to the offices. They are also sponsors, so we'd like to take good care of them, both of them. When you get to Carnes, you're going to park, and then you're going to walk your bike and all your gear over to the Green Barn area and to transition. You'll get your packet if you didn't get that on Friday, and you're going to set up your transition area. We'll have lots of volunteers on hand and pink shirts. They'll be able to answer questions for you, and you'll get your race number that is in your packet. That will tell you where to put your bike in transition. It will also be what you take with you to get your chip, your timing chip. The number should match your race bib number. And you're also going to get body marked, which means you'll get a number written on you that corresponds with your race bib number, as well as your age written on your calf. And then from there, you're just going to have fun taking selfies with all your friends and getting excited about what the morning is going to bring for you. So that's sort of a rundown of the timeline and what to expect as you arrive, and Angie's going to go through the course in detail.
Thanks. So the first event in your triathlon, if you're doing the triathlon version of the event, is the swim. And lining up for the swim can sometimes be a little bit of a question for people of how do I do this? How do I make sure I'm seated properly? So we ask you to take a look at our swim pace estimator, which we will post in the comments afterwards, and try to figure out exactly where you will be according to the pace estimator, and then that will give you a time, and you will line up according to your time according to the signs. So the fastest swimmers go in first, and if you swam in college or you are super fast, you will line up behind this sign that says, I'm a 9:10, I swam in college, and I am crazy fast. If you didn't swim in college and you're just a super fast little girl, that's fine too. You can line up behind that. And then there are signs all the way down to 1 to 2. I don't have a pace. I take my time and I will finish the swim. So if you don't know your pace and you're going to do a mix of strokes and just kind of, get through the swim however you need to, then you might want to line up behind this sign. So we'll have signs in between that, like I said, and there will be plenty of volunteers on hand to help you figure out where to line up. And it's also helpful if you talk to participants in front of you and behind you and just kind of gauge what their swim pace is. If they don't know either and you don't know, you're probably in the right spot. All right, so we will have, if you would like to do a short warm-up, you may do so at 7, maybe even we'll push it up to like 6:55 when our lifeguards are there and ready, just because we will start the event a couple minutes earlier than we were going to. So when you're swimming, and if you come up on somebody and you would like to pass them, let's say you're a faster swimmer than them, and the correct way to do that is to tap their foot. So if you're swimming, you just kind of give them a tap on their foot, and then when they get to the end of the lane, they're supposed to wait, let you go by, and then they continue to resume their swim. If you find yourself in trouble, short of breath, anything at the swim, you may stop at any point. The pool is around 5 feet deep, so most of you will be able to stand if you put your feet down. Sarah and I aren't so lucky. But you can certainly stop. You can pause at the wall. We invite you to do any stroke that gets you through the event. We just want everybody to have a really super positive experience with the swim. And if that means you backstroke the whole way or float on your back at times, that's fine. And just so you know, the first and last lap of the swim course is one direction, and then every lap in between is 2 directions. So if you just think when you get in and you keep the lane line on your left, and you do that the whole way, you only change direction at the end where the main road is. So if you just think you go up and then you change direction, you come back down, that should be helpful. All right, so that's it with the swim. Now the bike. The most important thing, it's a very important safety rule, is that your helmet must be latched at your rack. So what that means is when you go, the first thing you do when you get out of the pool, you're going to go to your bike rack, you're going to find your bike, and you want to make sure your helmet is on and latched before you do anything else. Then you can grab your bike and you will take it out. The volunteers will direct you how to take it out of transition. There's a big bike start inflatable, and you'll take it out, and then they will tell you where to mount your bike. The roads are not closed to traffic. There will be police out on the course at 2 main spots. When there's not police, there's also volunteers to help with directions. And the important thing about this event is that there's 3 loops on the bike course. How many loops, Sarah?
There's 3.
3. All right, that's an important number. So practice counting to 3. We're not being cute. It actually does get somewhat confusing to keep track of what lap you're on. So that's very important to know, because if you don't do 3 loops, you'll be sad, and we don't want you to do 4. There is a very specific bike loop area that is highlighted in our map. It pulls out just the loop part, and that is an area you'll want to go very slow. So when you start to see volunteers and you get back to transition, you'll see a lot of people, you'll hear a lot of commotion, and we want you to go very slow in that part, because people are going to be going out on their next loops, and people are also going to be going into transition. So there's a very specific coned off loop area that you can take a look at when you get to the event site that morning. If you're going to pass somebody, it's great to stay on your left, just so they know you're coming, and it's also important to stay about 5 bike lengths away for safety reasons and drafting purposes. We don't think anyone's going to try to do that on purpose, so we're probably not going to disqualify you, but it is good to stay a couple bike lengths away. We do have Spokeworks Bicycle Workshop doing SAG, which stands for Support and Gear. They will be out on the course, and they will be, if you encounter a flat tire or a mechanical issue, they will be riding around. They'll have a little sign on their back that says Bike Sport, so you should be able to find them, and it's one of the only males also on the course besides the bike captain, so you should be able to spot them pretty well. Just a note about bike support. On Friday, if you want to get your bike checked out and you want a safety check, you want air in the tires, Friday at Packet Pickup is the time to do it. So bring your bike, bring your helmet, they can check that too. Don't wait till Saturday morning to do that, because they will also be out on course and they have to get ready to be on course. So Saturday morning they can help with tire inflation, but nothing major is they're not going to be able to do anything major on Saturday. So Friday, if you want your bike checked, bring it to Pack and Pickup, please. And it's always handy to bring a spare tube for your bike in case you do get a flat and they don't have the kind of tube that you need. Just one other thing about you want to be my Vanna, my Sarah. You're going to get 3 numbers. When you check in for Packet Pickup, you're going to get this small number that Sarah's holding up. That goes on the front of your helmet. That will help our photographer identify you in your pictures, so try to make sure that sticks on. And then you will have a number to wear for the run, and I'll talk about that. And then you'll have a number to put on your bike. It's a giant sticker, so if you fold it over and put it somewhere on your bike that it's not going to be in the way of your legs, that also helps us if there's an emergency, or also with pictures. So wear those proudly. All right, on the run is very well marked. It is on a path and a sidewalk. So we want to make sure you stay out of the roads. I know in our Ion event, I think sometimes we kind of get out on the road a little bit, but this one you want to make sure and stay on the sidewalk, because especially on Parish Farms Drive, there's going to be bikes going by you. So stay on the sidewalk. And when you, like I said, when you do the run, you have to make sure that you are wearing your number on the front of you. We have race belts that'll help you keep it on. You can pin it to your shirt, but you must finish the event with that on you. Also, there's sometimes, and for the duathlon, sorry, you have to have your run number for both parts of your run, so your first run and your second run. And this one sometimes makes people sad, but there is a very strict no headphones rule. I will disqualify you if I see you wearing headphones. That's a big USAT safety rule. You need to hear what's going on around you, so please respect that and leave your headphones at home. Talk to the other ladies around you, smile, be in the moment. It's much more fun that way. Also, spectator viewing, we love spectators, and we want you to bring your family, your grandparents, your kids, your neighbors. We want all the spectators. We just don't want them on the pool deck. So that's the only place that, and they're not allowed in transition, but they may kind of hang out on the outside of the fence and watch you from there. I promise they can see you perfectly. Restrooms, they are located by the pool in the green barn. They will be open from the time you get there till the time you leave. We also have a sponsor zone, and we will give everybody a passport, and that will go in a drawing. Once you get all the sponsors, you can start to get them Friday night at Pack and Pickup. You can get them to sign your passport, and once that's all complete with signatures, you can put it in a drawing for. We have some really amazing prizes. We have one of these cool hats. If you're not a little girl and you don't get one, that's one way you can get one. They're very coveted. And we also have everything from Rudy Project hats to, we actually have a beach cruiser bike from Build-A-Bike, and it is sweet. It's amazing. Oh, and we have some Lululemon like waist bags and a water bottle from Lululemon. Everybody, our sponsors, really took care of us for that. All right, so should I keep going?
Do you want me to take over?
Sure.
Okay. So once you finish, we have that sponsor zone that Angie mentioned. Just keep on cheering on the other finishers. Go visit our sponsors. Get your passport signed. Get some amazing snacks. And we'll have food from Vicious Biscuits this year, as well as mimosas from Somba and Sava Cucina, our sponsors from Mount Pleasant. There will also be water and a few other things, so definitely take advantage of that. We'll get started with awards around 10:30. We start them once the final finisher has crossed the finish line, so we don't have an exact time for that. That's why we ask that you stick around for all the other finishers. And we have a tradition to cheer on the final finisher. So we will have our amazing DJ Shane Griffin announcing all of the finishers, and he will let us know when the final finisher is approaching. We send everyone to the finish line and cheer her in with a massive loud cheer. So it's one of the coolest parts of our event. We ask you to stick around after that. Transition will open up once the final cyclist is back in and is on the course. So this means that you will not be able to get your things until that happens. So if you're one of the first finishers, you will have to stick around until the final cyclist is on the course before you can go in and get your bike and get your bag, get your phone, or whatever is in transition. So if you're going to want those things, if you're going to want your phone, for example, before that happens, leave it with a family member who's spectating, and then you can have it once you cross the finish line. This is for safety reasons and to make sure that those who are still participating aren't running into crowds of women who have already finished trying to get their bike out of transition. It's a rule from USAT, and so we just ask that you be patient with us. We'll make an announcement when transition opens. Yeah. And so that's all the details that we have for you for that morning. Like I said, we'll get started around 7:20 lined up before that around the pool in Carnes. And we're so excited to end our season with this amazing event with a large crowd of women and girls and a super supportive neighborhood to take care of us. So but feel free to put questions in. I did see that there was a question about a garage sale. I have great news. That garage sale happened last weekend. It is not happening this weekend, so don't worry. There will not be a garage sale happening, or at least not a community-wide one happening during your event. And I'm going to hand this to Angie and just do a quick check to see if we have any other questions. Noah said nice hats. Can you play music from your Apple Watch without headphones? I think that's it. Okay, right?
Yes.
Yes, you can do that. All right, any of the other questions, we will answer them in the comments. Feel free to email us or put questions in the comments, and we'll make sure to get them answered. And we will send out this video link to you later today or tomorrow morning, depending on
I have a microphone.
Oh yeah, how quickly I can get that done. Thanks, guys.
See you Friday.